Alright, so this is the cube after scrambling my orientation yellow top, green front. For lettering scheme, I just use standard specs with one exception, but I'll go over that when I need to. So start off memoing plus centers, use UF buffer. So we have M, Q, E, N. I skip over S because that has yellow on it. If I skip over it, I can probably avoid a cycle break later on. So I instead go to T and U from there. That's my first locus. So second locus also has 3 pairs. So from there I have F, and then there's no more centers on the back face to shoot to, so just go to S. From there, A, G, and V, I. Final locus, I just put whatever's left there. So we have H, B, K, P, L, D, and then W as the lone target just there. So that's plus centers done. Next I go on to memoing X centers, and I use UBL. So first locus, again, 3 pairs. I have I, Q, G, J, W, M. Second locus, from there I go to T, H, X, S, and A. That's where my scheme's different from specs. I just swapped that to A so I can use the same pairs as I do for everything else. So A and then N. Last locus, again just whatever's left. V, B, K, O, L, P, and then E as a parity target to finish. In an actual solve, I go ahead and review all of that, all of the centers. So going back to plus centers, tracing from UF, I have M, Q, E, N, T, U, F, S, A, G, V, I, H, B, K, P, L, D, and W. And for X centers, I'd retrace, memo again, review. I, Q, G, J, W, M. From there, T, H, X, S, A, N, V, B, L, K, O, L, P, and E. So that's center tracing done. So after memoing and reviewing centers, I get on to tracing everything else, starting with midges. So midges, I use the UF buffer, and first loci has 3 pairs again. So starting tracing, X, F, H, E, T, V. Now that's my buffer piece. So typically what I'd do is that I'd pseudo solve this to UR because I haven't hit the UR piece string memo yet. However, I'm not going to do that this solve because UR is already solved. And what's the point just disturbing something that's already solved? So instead I'm going to cycle break. So I cycle break here because there's a pretty good 4 mover. So U, A, P, S, back to U. And now we've traced all of our midge targets, except there's an odd number. So what I'm going to do is append UR to the end of it. So make this pair U, B. And what that does is that it moves the piece that's in DF up to UR, and then the UR piece to the buffer spot. So this yellow-orange edge is going to end up in the buffer position, and then this piece, because we cycle broke to DF earlier in the solve, is going to end up at UR. So we're doing obviously an even amount of targets, so we can 3-style it, and also we're going to have UF and UR swapped in the end. So we have parity, so we've got to keep that in mind tracing wings. Speaking of tracing wings, here we go.
UFR buffer. We have J to M, and it goes to M because we're swapping UF and UR. W, L, H, X, that would be my first locus, and then after that I have G, T, I, U, P, A. Second last locus, we've got E, S, O, V, and R, and that's my buffer piece, again because we're swapping UF and UR, so I'll cycle break. Haven't hit Q yet, and that's a pretty fast comm and a good location to cycle break, considering they're right next to each other, so it's a good memo. So I go R, Q, and then final locus, whatever's left, K, F, D, B, N, back to Q. So that's midge and wing memo done. So I'd again review that. So we'd have for midges, X, F, H, E, T, V. Cycle break to U, A, P, S, U, and then finish off with B. Wing tracing, J, M, W, L, H, X, G, T, I, U, P, A, E, S, O, V, R, cycle break to Q, K, F, D, B, N, back to Q. So that's midge and wing tracing done. The only thing left to do now is audio corners. Starting from UFR, I have P, and I'll cycle break to B, O, E, H, F, and then back to B. Don't need to worry about this corner, obviously, it's already solved. So straight into exec, P, B, O, E, H, F, and then leave the parity target to the end so we can set up the JPEM. Then I'd execute plus centers. So M, Q I rotate for. I'd stay in this rotation to do EN. EN. T, U. F, S. I move that target to the bottom and rotate. A, G. V, I. H, B. K, P. L, D. And then W. Onto X centers now. Use UBL, and I know full 3 style for it, so these comms should be better than plus centers. Okay, I, Q, G, J, W, M, T, H, X, S, A, N, V, B, K, O, L, P, and then E, rotate. So now that centers are done, I would execute midges next. Again, starting from UF, I just use intuitive comms. X, F, H, E, T, V, cycle break, UA, P, S, then UB. And onto wings, J, M, W, L, H, X, G, T, I, U. I use like the U2 R wide inserts. P, A. Do an R prime setup into the RU U slice gen alg. Just because I find that more comfortable than doing D slices. E, S, O, V, I rotate. R, break to Q. K to F. D, B. N, Q.
and then J-perm.
Alright, this is an example solved for 5 blind. For blind, my orientation is yellow on top and orange at front. So let's get started. Alright, this is the scramble, and for memo, my sequence is corners, wings, midges, X centers, and plus centers. When execution, I will go for plus centers first, X centers, and then depends on what I remember. Normally I will go for corners first and followed by wings, and then the last is midges. But if I can't remember the corners, then I will go for whatever I remember. Alright, so for corners, my buffer is UFR, and this piece will come here, and this is my buffer piece, so it's a cycle break. I will shoot these buffer pieces to here, UBR. So for letters is L, B, K, Q, T, and then R. Although now the targets are even number, but my last target is this piece, and this should go here. So I know it is a swap. Alright, now comes to wings. My buffer is UFR, and for wings I normally use 3 rooms and 4 letter pairs in each room. So my first piece here, it will come here, then here, F, E, U, L, A, Q. Alright, now this piece is at the back, but for tracking the back, I will go like rotation Y2, now O and K. Wait, now this is for my first room, but Y2 is not effective actually. If you go, when you track, you go for X2, it's more effective and easier. So next room, just now I stop here, and my second room will start here. V, N, B, J, M, U, R, D. Okay, now my second room is done, and this is my buffer piece. So there is another cycle break. And I show this piece should come here. Means these 2 pieces haven't done yet, and I remember that I didn't track for these 2 pieces. So my third room, I will go for X, S, P, I, W, H, T, and X. So my third room is done also, and there is no parity for wings. Alright, then is midges. Midges, I use 2 rooms, and for each room there are 4 letter pairs also. So my buffer is UF, this piece will come here, and then here, X, R, T, Q, P, and then V. Alright, now I only have 3 letter pairs, so I know there's a cycle break. And I remember I didn't track these UB pieces, so I will continue for this A and L. So it is X, R, T, Q, P, V, A, and L. Then is O and U. This 1 letter pair, I will put it in another room. Alright, for X centers, my buffer is UBL, and then first piece is here, then here, E, M, Q, B, F, V, C, I. Alright, then for second room, okay, because this yellow piece, I know that this piece is done and this piece is done, so I won't go for here. I will go for here to avoid a cycle break. So E, M, Q, B, F, V, C, I, then P, S, U, J, W, K, H, and L. So this is my second room. For then continue. This piece should come here. T, then X. Okay, just now I skip the B, D, L pieces. This piece. So automatically I know that this piece should go here. So later I will go for this piece and this piece swap. It is a 8 move commutators. Alright, last I will have plus centers. My buffer is UF. So this piece will come here. Oh, for plus centers, the 4 letters pairs I will use image, and the rest of it I will use audio. Alright, so I, M, Q, J, O, A, R, P. Alright, so this is my, for these 8 pieces, I will use image, and then the rest of it I will use audio. So continue. U, S, V, E, T, B, U, L, H, D, and then W. Alright, now for execution, I will go for U. Alright, then it's Q and J. We do rotation. No. Then it's OA. Then it's RP. Now it's US, rotation again. VE, TB, UL, HD, and last is W. Alright, now these centers are done, and now is X centers, E and M. Then Q, B, F, V, C, I. Then P, S, L, U, J, W, K, H, L. And T, X. And now is these two pieces shut. Alright, then I will go for corners. L, B, K, Q, T, R, rotation, and now is wings, F, E, U, L, A, Q, and OK, rotation, V, N, B, J, M, U, R, D. Then is X, X, S, rotation, P, I, W, H. T, X. Okay, now let me just X, R, T, Q, P, V, A, L. And then O, U. Rotate. Now is F Pong. And then shut. Alright, done. So here is my example solved for 5 blind. Thank you for watching.
Alright, so 5 blind, I start off memorizing corners. My buffer is UFR. First piece is here to here. That's O. I'm going to cycle break to there. That's D. The word I use is odd. So there to there. Now we've got here to here. That's WV for me, wave. And then that goes there. That goes there. That's YL for me. Yell. And then that goes back to there, which is D. So the sentence would be, odd people are waving, and then they yelled at Dick. Dick is the name of a friend of mine. Next, I memorize midges. I'm actually, since I ended up with D for parity, here to here, I'm gonna do a UFUL swap for midges and wings, so keep that in mind. Gives a slightly nicer parity alg. Midges are gonna be here to here to here. For me, that's LS, LASS, L-A-S-S. Here to here to here, since that's technically our buffer right now. So that's going to be QW. I use Squidward. There to there to there. That's FK. Flick. So the last is telling Squidward to flick. And then got here to here, GW, grow. And then cycle break. So I'll go here to here. That's DM, damn. And then that goes here to here to do that UFUL swap. And so that's NR, and Nora is what I use for NR. Nora is a friend of mine. And so the sentence I make for that is that I'm growing a dam, and then Nora showed up and saw me doing it. So that's 2 separate sentences for midges. Then for wings, we've got here to here to here doing the UFUL swap. That's fire, FR,
And then we got here to here to here, that's UN. So I'm firing the UN, and then there, that's JY, J McNeil, there to there, BM, Boom. I have a friend named Boom, so I'm firing the UN, and then J told Boom. And then next, I make 3 like packs of 4 words for each like image for wings. So that's the first image. Second image is going to be here to here, that's WG, wig. So I'm putting a wig on, we got here, that's technically our buffer, so I'm going to cycle break to here. I put a wig on my SA, and then that goes there to there, EI, that's my friend Etai. I put a wig on my SA, Etai told OA. OSA is an organization at my school, so I put a wig on my SA, Etai told OSA. And then we finished that cycle, so I'm going to break again. I'm cycle breaking there, that's TV, television. PK is picking, HQ, picking on headquarters, LT, and then a light turned on. Television's picking at headquarters and a light turned on. That's wings. Now we've got plus centers. Normally in 5-line, for the record, I one pass corners, midges, and wings, and then I'll review those once. So after I finished midges right there, I would review everything, and then that's the last time I see it. Then I go on to do X centers, which I'll trace and then review once, and then I do, or plus centers, I trace and review once, and then I do X centers. So plus centers, got here to here to here, that's IR. So I think of an IR laser, so I'm using an IR laser on MW, a mowing machine, and then there to there, that's SV. Lifesavers, so how about I'm IRing the mowers lifesavers, and then JE, the jester, TK, put ticks on me. So I'm IRing the jesters, or the mowers lifesavers, and the jester put ticks on me. That's the first image for plus centers. I always do packs of 5 words for centers to keep it kind of evenly spaced. Then the second image for plus centers are going to be here to here, BG, so I'm bagging there to there, OH, I'm bagging OH cubes, and then here to here, CP, the cops, there to there are telling UA Uhura, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, and then that's Q, my parody target. Q is Quinn, so I'm bagging OH cubes. The cops told Lieutenant Uhura to go get Quinn. That's the second plus center image. X centers I do kind of like pseudo audio for. I make a kind of an image. It's kind of like how I do 3-blind. I make an image for the first 5 letter pairs. I don't review it. I don't really visualize it or anything. I just kind of make a sentence that's somewhat coherent, and then I audio the rest. So first 5 letter pairs, here, 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 that's EV. I picture Eevee, the Pokemon. And then that's here to here. Eevee said quick, QK. At the ML, at the mall people. And then WT, they started wedding, FJ, fudge. So Eevee said quick, mall people, and they started wedding, fudge. And then the rest is audio, so we now have here to here, that's CN, cone, and then here, here, GO, go, here, here, that's RB, rub, here, here, that's HP, hip, and then here for parody, that's U. So I would say EV, quick, mall people, what was it? EV, quick, mall people, wet, fudge, and then cone, go, rub, hip, U. That's X centers. Now, execution. We got EV first. I do this. It's a pure. Then we got quick. I do this. That's for UW prime to up here. And we got here to here. I do D setup into this wide insertion. And we got here, 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 which is wide R prime setup. Oops, like that, yeah. Then we got here, 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 D prime setup into up here. We got here, 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 which is just a pure. Then we got here, 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 which is R prime setup. Then we got here, 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 another easy pure. Here, 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 that's UW prime setup into up here. Then here to here for parity. You're effectively gonna do the alg here, 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 but you don't have to rotate. It's just up here like that. Oops, other way around. So actually like, yeah, here, here, here. So it would be 2L, U prime, 2R prime, U prime, etc. And then here, 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 that's IR. I do 3 wide R setup. Then here, 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 this is wide R prime setup. You can kind of do a cancel into the next one if you want, but it's a little weird and not really, doesn't really say much, but the next alg here to here is a wide R prime setup as well. And then here, 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 this is an easy one, 9 mover, just a U setup. Here, 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 I do 3 wide R again. Here, 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 wide R prime setup, or wide R prime U prime setup technically. And here, 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 this is a cool one, 3 wide R setup, but the first move of the insertion is an L prime slice, so it's gonna go like this. Then here, 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 pure. Here, here, here is like this. This is a wide L setup, but the first move of the insertion, or the first interchange is an M, so it's actually gonna start like that. And we got here, here, and I'm just gonna do here to here to here to effectively do parity. Then we got wings, here, here, here. I do a rotation D. And here, 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 that's a pure. Here, 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 I do D setup. Oops. Insertion first. Then we got here, 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 that's RD. Into up here. Here, here, I do D R setup, but then interchange is an M or a R slice, so it starts like a wide R move. Then you got here, here. I'm gonna cycle break to here. Then we got here, here. Oh no, here to here to here. That's just wide R into up here. Then here, 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 which is R prime set up into up here, cancels at the end. And then we cycle break here, so D setup. Then here, 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 that's wide R prime setup. Here, 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 Z into up here. Here, 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 that's a rotation, wide R into up here. And then wings are done. Now we got here, here, here. Oops, rotate, R. It's just a rotation into up here. Here, 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 that's a really easy pure. Here, 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 another pure. Here, 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 similar to a case we had before, D wide R setup. Then we got a cycle break here, 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 Z to a pure. Then here, here, here. This one's a little weird. I do 4 wide R setup, R prime into this 5 mover. Now we just got corners left. Here, here, here. Very nice case. Here, here, here. I do R U prime into up here. It's nice and regripless. Then we've got here, here, here. The setup is U prime D R prime. You can actually cancel into parity if you want. It's kind of nice, and I'll do that. Parity is a J perm, U prime into a J perm, so got this. Omit that U undo setup and just go into the J perm. Yep. That's it.
Hello, let's get started with the 5BLD walkthrough solve. Before I get into the scramble, I'd like to discuss some things, which is the buffers. So the buffers that I use is for corner, UFR, for the wings, FUR, for the midges, UF, for the X centers, UBR, and for the plus centers, UF. I'll discuss my memo order and exec order. So for memo order, it's first midges and then it's corners, then it's wings, and then comes the short term stuff, which is X center and plus centers. Note that I do midges and corners before wings because I want to know if there is a parity there, and if there is a parity, I'll just make a weak swap of two edges, four edges, and then I can avoid like 7 moves or a alg basically. And my exec order is in the reverse. So exec order is first the UF, X plus center, then X centers, and then whatever comes to mind. Most probably it is first corners, and then it is midges and then wings, something like that. Yeah, midges and then wings. Now I use letter codes for memorizing. So basically, group of 4 letters makes one image. And since there are 3 piece types which have around 24 cluster, so there is like the wings, X and the plus centers, which are having 24 targets. So there are around 5 to 6 letter codes that I get for this, and those I break them into 2 sentences. So yeah, I'll just talk about the locus that I use while memorizing. So first I'm starting with the long term stuff. So first it's like UF edges and UFR corners. So it's basically like a long term 3 MBLD cube that I'm trying to memorize. So it just goes like UF edge is one locus, complete the trace, and then UFR is one locus. And then for the wings, it is one whole room consisting of 2 locus, and then like wings is very variable. Sometimes there are very less things to memorize, sometimes there are more, sometimes there is some visual like 2 cycle that's missing, or some random 2 cycle, or some parity thing that you have to take care of. Lot of random things happens in wings, so that's why I just keep an entire room for it. And now before I talk, this is my orientation: yellow top, orange front. And the order which I had a few years back was completely different. A few years back what I had was I had all the buffers right here, not here. And if you see, like very ancient people, they have buffers here. Then people shifted here, and now it's here. And here is where you get very speed optimal and really fast algs. And yeah, so basically also I used to do first all the outer parts in exec, and then the centers, and that was not that great because I couldn't do some algs which were not center safe. So yeah, this is much better. So let's get into the solve. I'll first scramble my cube. Now I cannot one pass a 5x5. I am not an expert, so that's why I do 2 pass. And so I do 2 pass of corners and midges and wings. So first let me just trace the midges. So from the UF buffer, this is T, J and K, E. So touch K. Touch K is some random voice that I make. It's kind of audio, but I do not have an object right now. I should be having for this, but I do not have. Then I have, what I'll do is I'll just break it down into 2 letter pairs, since I do not know for this. So it's like Trojan ketchup. So that's touch K. Trojan ketchup, and then KE, and then I have MV. Now this is the buffer. So I'm shooting the buffer here. So MV BO. So it's like moving box. And then we have RD, and then we have a swap here. So that's a parity. Now let's move on to the corners. We have from here UFR WC RG. So that this is welcome rage. So WCRG is a letter code, that means welcome rage. Then I have OF, which is office letter pair, and this is a UBR. And I know that since there is a swap here, there is a swap here too. So yeah, let's quickly revise. widgets and wings. This is the second pass I'm doing. So Trojan ketchup, move box, and then RD is red for me, red or Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid is a cricketer, but I'll prefer red because it's a smaller word. Then I have WCRG, welcome rag, means welcome anger, and then OF is office. Moving on to wings, my buffer is FUR. The reason why I keep FUR is because it's one move off from DFR, which I'm very familiar with, and also I don't have to switch orbits. So if I switch to UFR, the orbit, what I mean by orbit is, so if I have FUR, then this is C, letter C, and if I have UFR, then this is letter C, and this is G, and then this is G. So it gets a bit complicated. So that's why FUR keeps the same orbit. Also, then whenever I want to float, I can float to FUR like orbits, which I'll get to when I'm doing the execution. So let's start first. It's first is OB here, and then DI. So it's obedient person, and then I have EF. So note that I'm shooting the like these pieces that should be going here. I'm shooting them here. The reason being, I'm just doing it like this because I know that there is a midge and corner parity. So then I would just need to do an F permutation at the end. So yeah, EF and then AU. So Ifao is a French guy, very cool guy. And then we have VS, and then we have KG. So VS KG is wasting weight. So someone who's trying to gain weight, but he's also wasting a lot of weight. So that's the adjective or something that I'm focusing on. Then I have MD. Note that I'm not shooting this here, I'm shooting it here. So MD and then XP, so mad experience. And now this is something that will come here, and then I have this and this which will be swapped, but this is kind of the pseudo buffer that I have here. And now I have to cycle break, and I notice that all these things I'm not shot to. So what I'll do, I'll do floating, and I'm not an expert in doing floating. I don't have a very specific order, so that's why I choose the easiest one in my orbit. So like this piece that I'm not shot to, but I won't choose this because this is if I choose this sticker, it will be in a different orbit, and if I choose this sticker, I can't make comms from here on this spot, and like I've not generated comms from this sticker. So that's why I'll choose this. So this is DFL. From this, let's float. So the first is here to here to here. So like most of the DFL comms is Y prime off. So it's like Y prime off. So here to here, and then this is LB, and then this goes to X and P. So it's LBXP. So it's like lab quantum particle. So that's the letter code. And then I have JX, and this is the DFL. That means there is no wing parity. So JX is just Jacksaw. So let's first overall review the memo. It's obedient guy named Ifao who wastes his weight with mad experiences, and he goes to a lab to that has quantum particles and uses a jacksaw there. Let's get on to the other pieces, short-term memory pieces. I'll just talk about how I deal with my X center buffer. So it's UBR, and if UBR gets solved, I go to UFL, and if UFL gets solved, I float to UBL, and then I float to UFR. So this is the order in which I float. Floating in centers is quite easy. So from the X center buffer UBR, first is target. I'm going in clockwise fashion. So EIGA, and as you can see, I'm shooting here. These two are getting solved. So first that I have is eigenvalues, EIGA, mathematical thing. If you are not a college student, maybe you might not be knowing. So yeah, now I'm floating to UBL. But I'm just doing a U move, so a U prime, because I don't want to do comms from UBL. I want to do it from UBR, so I do a U move, and then now I have this going here to here, LTPA. So it's like a litter paper, some paper that is used in garbage places, so litter paper. And then I have from here it is going KQ NV. So KQNV is kind of. Kind of is some kind of Marathi word. I can't explain it in English. I'll just skip through it. So yeah, there are a lot of languages that I use for making letter words. So kind of, and then I'm shooting here J, then U, R M, Jurm. This is Hindi word, and I think so it means crime. Yeah, and then from here JURM I have WOXA. So Woza is some random guy's nickname. Woza. So yeah, let's quickly review X center memo. So EIGA eigenvalues shoot to UBL, and then I have liter paper LTPA, and then I have KQNV, and I notice KQNV is something that I can execute really fast since I know a 5 cycle. So it's like K, Q, and V. I know a 5 cycle, that's really fast, which I'll be doing while I'm doing the execution. Right now I'm just memo tracing. So K, Q, and V, and then from here I have JURM, Jurma, and now this is also a nice 5 cycle, JURM. So I'll be showing it while I'm doing execution. Yeah, so this is one 5 cycle, second 5 cycle that I have in X centers. And then I have WOXA, Woza. Now I'm going to the plus center memo. Buffer is UF. Keep in mind, I was using DF for many years. Then suddenly hardware improved of 5FI, and you can turn like 4 or 5 TPS, and now you can use U-layer buffers and have some fancy comms. So I just took Daniel Lynn's UF algs and I'm using them. So from here, NF KC. So it's like enough cream for me, first letter chord. Then it is HEOX. So HEOX is hoax for me. HEOX. Then I have GR going here, and then AV. So GRAV is grave, so graveyard or grave. And then I have IB. Oh wait, GRAV, and then IBJM. So IBJM is a bean jam, some kind of random food which is called bean jam. And now from here I'm shooting here DF, and then UB LFD. So it's DQ, and then UC. This is the this is shot to a random solid U layer sticker, because this is the last target and it's a single target. So to make it a 3 cycle, I just shoot it here. So yeah, let's quickly review plus sentence memo. So enough cream, hoax, HEOX, then graveyard, then bean jam, and then DYUC is dyed. Something that's dyed up means coloring of something. Yeah, so this finishes up my trace, and I know that I'll be having a parity of only this midges and corners, and not of this wings. So all these fancy wing comms, wing parity things I can't do on this scramble, maybe on something else. So yeah, let's discuss finally about how many algs this scramble was. Like if you see, there are no solved centers on this scramble. There are few, and if you count, there are only 7 solved centers, which is quite less. Compared to 4BLD or like any other event, you get more salt centers. But for 5BLD it's frustrating because sometimes you get very few salt centers. So that's why but somehow it's only 41 algs for this scramble. And since I'll be using these 2 special comms, so it will reduce 1 comm. And also in the midges I'm using UF, and for the last 3 years I'm doing UF 5 cycles, and some of them are center safe, so that's why 2 comms saved in this also. So it's Trojan ketchup is 1 comm, and then moving box is second, and then this red is 3 cycle. Yeah, so yeah, that's what it makes it a 37 comm solve. And now I'll just focus on the execution. Executing in the reverse order, I have first the plus centers and then the X centers, which I have in the short term memory. So first, to make it a bit easier for you guys to follow, I'll just be having only the plus centers. So as you can see, it's matching all the sides, but it will be easier to follow. So the first comm is UF to RB to BU, which is like do a Z prime, and then L, U prime, L prime, E prime, L, U, L, E. So it solves this and this. Next one is UF to LB to UR. So it's like this to here. So it's a normal 3-cycle case. This UF edges case. The next is UF to FU to LU, and this is a bit tricky one. So it's wide U prime, and then you have U M prime U prime M, U prime M prime U M, wide U prime. And next one we have OX, which is UF to this to here, and I do a Z prime, R U prime R prime D, R U R prime D prime, E prime. And now the same I have GR, so here to here, and it's just nothing but do R prime U2 interchange, R prime ER U2, R prime E prime R, and then undo. And now I have here this I'm shooting to here and then here, so it's UL to DR, and it is just M U prime M prime U prime R to U M U prime R to U to M prime. Now I have I beam, so I to B, so I do a Y R E R prime E2 R E prime R prime E2, and now I have JM. So this is like a UFL, do a R prime and R prime ER U prime interchange, R prime ER UR. Now I have DQ, so I do a Y prime U M prime U prime R2 U M U prime R2, and now I have UC, so U going to C, and this is nothing but wide R prime U prime RU M2 U prime R prime U M2 and then R. So yeah, this solves the plus centers. Let's move on to the X centers. My buffer is UBR. First target was eigenvalues, if you guys remember. So let's solve EI first. So EI, the setup is U, then it is L U2 L prime U2 L U2 L prime U2, and now I have GA, so G and A, so L U prime L prime U2 L U prime L prime U2. Now I have LTPA, so this is LTPA, so I do L U2 L U2 L prime U2 L U2 M2. It's like a A9 commutator but with the inner layers. Now I have this going to here, that is UBR to BDL to UFL. So it's nothing but do a Y prime. And now here is the tricky part. Here is where I have the 5-cycle. So this it's UBR to RUF to BDL to LFD to FDR. And the alg goes like F prime U wide L prime U prime L U prime L prime U L R2 U L U prime R2 F. So I just do it on my this. So KQNV. So it is F prime U and then next I have JURM, which is another 5-cycle, this one. So JURM is UBR to RBU to DBR to RBD and to FDL. So the alg goes like D2 F2 D R D prime B D R prime D prime D prime R D prime B prime D R prime F2 D2. So I just do it on this one. So JURM. So it's and then I am left with WOZA. So WOXA. So it's WO. It's a very easy one. And then this is just a I think so R2 U prime L2U R2 U prime L2U. And yeah, that this solves the X centers. Let's move on to corners and midges. So in corners and midges, first I'll do the corners. So it's UFR to RDF to UBR. So it's U R prime D prime R U prime R prime DR. Very easy 8 mover. Then it's UFR to RBD to LUB, which is R U D prime U R prime DR U prime R prime D prime R U D prime, and then this office. So it's L2 U prime R prime U L2 U prime RU. Moving on to midges. First we have from the UF sticker here to here to here to here to here, which is U S U R prime E2 R U R E2 R prime S prime U. And the second one we have is from here to here to here to here to here, which is moving box. and the alg is u d2 r s prime, r prime u2 r prime, u2 s, u2 r u d2, and then we have rd, which is just a 3 cycle, which is u prime m, r prime u r u prime m, u prime r prime u prime r, and then m2 and then u. So this solves the measures. Now moving on to wing execution. First is O and D, which is FUR to RFU to UBR, which is just very simple pure comp. R prime, U prime RU, R, U prime R prime U. Note that I'm shooting it here. Now next is DI, so D and I. So this is R setup to U prime LU R, U prime LU R2. So 9 move, easy one. Next we have EF, which is nothing but a perm kind of fish from the left, which is L prime U, U L U prime L, U L prime U prime L, U L prime. Now we have AU, so X rotation, and then we have U prime U2, L prime U L, then U prime L U L prime F, or kind of F when we are just going back. Now here is a weird case, V and S. So I do a Y prime R, D2 R U R prime, D2 R U prime R prime, and then again do an R prime, which is just an R2. Now we have KG. For this I do a Z prime, and then it's kind of a UL case. So this is a UL com going from here to here. So it's just nothing but U prime L to U L prime, U prime L to U L. Now we have MD. This is a nice comp. It goes like R prime U prime R prime, U prime R to U R, U prime R to U2, and then R. Now we have XP. So XP is R setup to U prime, and then now a simultaneous move to end. We are done. The swap is also done. So that means we are kind of floating DFL. So for the float to DFL, I do a Y prime. First target is here to here, so it's nothing but a simple 8 mover. Next we have here to here, which is DFL to BDL to LFD. So it's 4 wide L prime, then L prime U L D prime, L prime U prime L D, undo, and now final the target from here to here to here, or basically from DFL to LD to LDB, which is nothing but L prime U prime setup to this nice comp, which I like to do a lot. Now finally, I don't want to do a Y, I want to do the F form from this angle. So the alg for the F form from this angle is R prime U R U prime R2, F prime U prime F U R F R prime F prime R2 U prime. So yeah, that's the execution, and I hope you liked the series, and I'll do a timed execution of this song.